What's going on YouTube? Doug Smith here today. Welcome to another episode of the Wee Sweet One. Today we're going to talk about 3 top tips for your indoor and outdoor garden and proof that they work. That's coming up. Alrighty. So today we're going to talk about the 3 top tips for indoor and outdoor plants. Now, generally speaking, I know you're probably wondering why you're looking at the grass. Grass itself is a plant, and they do the same things that all plants do. They like their food, they like their fertilizer, they like their water, their sunlight. Too much of everything could be a bad thing. But number one is, the tip I'm going to give you is Epsom salt. It's magnesium and sulfur with a little bit of oxygen, all put together in a molecule. And I go into more in-depth detail in another video. But Epsom salt, just spraying it or mixing it with fertilizer like Milorganite or Ringer Lawn Restore. And for those who live in the UK that cannot get either one of those, or the cost difference is too high, you could always use coffee grounds. They are slow release fertilizer for nitrogen, and they actually attract worms, which will help aerate your lawn, if that's what you're going for. But that's just a general tip for fertilizer. Fertilize. Feed your plants, feed your grass, feed your flowers, your vegetables, your indoor plants, whatever it is. But one of the things that Epsom salt really does in conjunction with feeding is it allows it to feed better. And you can see that, even though it's like 97, we get a nice result from the Epsom salt in the grass, because it's able to take those nutrients in that it needs to sustain and stay healthy. And if you look back here, that's kind of what happens when there's not enough nutrients to be taken in, or the grass cannot get to the nutrients, or something's just not right there, plus the heat alone. But the Epsom salt helps the grass not stress as much, just as much as it helps plants not to stress as much. And those are just a couple tomato plants I have over there and some watermelon. But that is one of the biggest things, Epsom salt. I can't stress it enough. Your plants start to turn a little yellow, use some Epsom salt. If you feel like they're not growing the way they should, use some Epsom salt. If you're going to transplant them, throw some Epsom salt in there. Again, once you get your plants going, because you don't want to burn them with fertilizers or anything too early. I try to mainly stay within like the general plant kind of guidelines for this channel. I'm not trying to really advocate like, here's how to grow some weed or something, right? I'm not really trying to push that, because that's not something that I'm really trying to advocate. But this information does work for all things, whether you're trying to grow a palm tree, or you're trying to grow lilies, glads, dumb cane, tomatoes, vegetables, grass, anything, peace lilies, you got something from a funeral home or whatever. These things apply to just about everything. The only real difference I could think of is tropical plants like their humidity a little bit better. So with a tropical plant, especially indoor, you just want to make sure to keep them mist it, every once in a while with like a spray bottle. So that way it keeps the humidity and it can flourish. Tip number 2, like I said, fertilize. Number 1 is Epsom salt. Number 2 is fertilize. Plants, when they want to grow, when they're in a vegetative state, they want to have nitrogen to produce growth. Without growth, they just they stay dormant. They don't really move too much, and eventually they fizzle out. So, as with anything, I like grass as an example. Grass needs nitrogen to grow, and once you have a more developed height in your plants, whether it's grass or tomato plants or veggies or whatever, it handles it. It handles the heat stress better. It handles lack of water better. It grows its roots better, so it can utilize more of the water in the soil. Same with any plant. It'd be like, this rose bush, if we planted this the same day that we planted this other one, and we didn't do anything to this, it would probably resemble something like that. Maybe a thinner stem. I mean, both of these have been cut back, but this one was cut back harder and is now not only growing back again, but it is also producing foliage. That's because this one was watered with not just Epsom salt, 2 to 3 times a month, but goes to tip number 3. I watered it with properly pH'd water. What that means is plants don't really like to take in water from too high of a pH, like where it's too alkaline, or too low of a pH where it's too acidic. So you find the sweet spot, which I have a video about that. You can see that in the top right corner. And that just goes on a little bit more detail about how the pH helps. But it's kind of like if it's like 75 degrees, the plants will take a wider array of the pH scale. But when it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, that window gets smaller and smaller and smaller and more important. So, I don't really have a true solid way to like make sure your pH for your yard is proper. I'm sure they have pH systems for like water filtration and all that. Not really trying to go that heavy with detail, not really trying to spend that kind of money just to water the grass, because grass kind of does its own thing. It's been doing its own thing for a long time. But when you're doing like plants and potters and vegetables out in the yard, you start to realize that pH makes a difference when all of a sudden you get all these brand new shoots and everything just really starts to flourish. You can see right here on this plant I got a new shoot right here, a new shoot right here. This is from 2 days ago when I did a video about pH. And yes, I got to get rid of some weeds, but tomato plants are starting to really blow up, and I mean they've doubled in size in just like 2 to 3 days. So pH makes a huge difference. But you can see, like, when you neglect feeding and you neglect adding Epsom salt on a regular basis, things start to dry out. They don't have the nutrients there no more. And so it's kind of proof. The other thing is, like, a lot of these plants look like they're dried out and everything because of the 90+ degree heat and the lack of rain, lack of watering. I've been coming out every morning, and I'll make an actual video. You can see that on my Facebook page. If you just go to Facebook and search the Wee Swee, I'll have a video posted on Facebook just about my morning watering routine. You can also check a link to that. It should be in the description of this video, and you get a better idea if you didn't see the pH video I posted. I'll just be doing a demonstration on Facebook. But you can, you can definitely do this. This isn't anything like scientific lab or anything. And in the prior video about pH, I also mentioned that I would be posting links to a lot of the items that you can find to use, items that I've used. I purchased a pH kit from General Hydroponics that was a seller listed on Amazon, and on top of that I got a pH testing pen to make things a lot easier. At the moment I'm waiting for Amazon to send me some type of link for my associate account. So might have jumped the gun when I said I'd post the links, but the links are coming. If you want to stay tuned, stay on track so you can get a better price, I would say, because Amazon's, they're the best. They got this whole like filter thing, lowest to highest price. I was able to get these items to test my pH for a very low price, where people have pH testing pens that are like $80 to $100. Not trying to spend that money. I'm sure you're not either. So, if you want to be notified of any changes, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit the little bell icon. And then when I do post or update the video, you'll get a notification. That way you can, be aware of the changes and get those links so you can get those products, or at least check them out. Other than that, if this video has helped you out in any way, definitely please smash that thumbs up. It helps me out for making these videos. It helps share the content, helps YouTube break the videos a little bit better. And then it also shows me that I'm doing something that is providing some type of value to you. If you have any questions, any more like details that you're looking for, like how much Epsom salt and measurements, I do have other videos that you should see popping up at the end of this video, and then you know, you can always go check those out. You could always just go to my channel and search through the different Epsom salt videos I have. I'm going to try to make a few more videos about pH. Like I said, I'll have a routine that I do in the morning. I'll go ahead and post that on Facebook. I'll probably make another video posted on YouTube as well. So that way you guys can just get a better feel of how to do it. Literally takes like no time at all. I get a big Tidy Cats bucket. I put it, you know, I fill it up to the top, use the pen, boop, stick it in. It says 7.9, so I just add pH down till it comes down to about 6.0 or 5.9. That's the spot I like. That works perfect. Mix it up, good to go. And then from there, I just grab a milk jug I cut for a watering can, and I just submerge it and water everything. Biggest thing I would say is don't drink it. I don't think it's supposed to be drinkable, but plants like it, so I guess it really wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I just wouldn't advocate it. So try that out. You know, there's tons of other videos online about the pH as well. It really makes a huge difference. It's a game changer. So, you know, if you're not already, keep fertilizing. You know, fertilize your plants regularly with the labeled recommendations. You know, if you're doing like coffee grounds or whatever, just do it like as needed. Coffee grounds are slow release for nitrogen, but I'm gonna post a chart, and that'll show you. You should see it right here, where at the low pH and the high pH, certain nutrients are not available, and plants really only like to take in between 5.5 and 6.5. So there's a video you can go ahead and watch about the pH. I explain it all. Make sure you're adding Epsom salt to help the plants utilize the resources in the soil. Just make sure you have everything pH right, because you can put all the fertilizer, all the Epsom salt to help the plants utilize the fertilizer, but if you don't have the right pH, the plant will not take anything. So that's my advice. You know, hopefully that does the trick for you. If you're not utilizing these 3 tips, I feel like in conjunction, they are the best combination to make your gardens, your plants thrive and flourish. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the description. Let me know. Anything I can do to help you guys out, I'll make a new video on just to help you. So we'll go from there, and we'll see you on the next video.